How you guys doing? Welcome back to ByTheStats. It's Andres. To my right, I have Ryan, and to my left, I have Freddie. And today's topic is the NBA playoffs, which start Saturday afternoon, I believe. So, would you guys like to start with the East or the West?
MVP talk first.
Right. We'll start the MVP talk. So I want to hear from both of you who you got and what reason you have them. So I'll go with Ryan first.
All right. Well, here's
easy for me.
Here's my thing, right?
Not really.
I think the most this is not what I'm picking, but I think the most valuable player in the NBA to their team was Russell Westbrook, because they were 15 games under 500 without him and Durant, and he came back, put them back to 500. Then Durant came in, then got them over 500, and he kind of carried them the rest of the way, didn't let them come back down. That being said, if you're the MVP, you can't miss the playoffs.
They didn't, yeah.
And there's one guy that was just on a whole other stratosphere this year, and that to me is James Harden. I know you probably might pick Steph Curry because he was just quite frankly ridiculous, but Houston would not be the same without James Harden. Same with Golden State; they would be the same without Steph Curry. But James Harden does everything for that team.
No, I know.
The reason why I'm picking them, they're less loaded than the Warriors. That's the only reason I'm picking them.
No, I know. I would pick Steph Curry as my MVP, but James Harden did more. He had to physically carry the Rockets to the number 2 seed without Dwight Howard. Basically, the entire season. He did everything. I really want to give him the MVP, but from what I saw from Steph Curry this year, it's too hard for me to not pick the popular pick in Steph Curry.
My thing is, I think it's easier to pick an MVP from a technically weaker team, because, I mean, if you're just a strong team, you're going to get discredited. Not to say Steph Curry didn't have an MVP caliber season, because he certainly did, but if I had a gun in my head, I'd have to pick James Harden. What do you think?
Well, Ryan, I'm going to have to agree with you guys, honestly. Warriors are a great team. Steph Curry played like a monster this season.
They're the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
In quite some time, actually.
Team. They played hell of a season. The thing is that team is just loaded. I mean, if you look at it, they got 2 shooters that are the best in the NBA, besides the father of them, which is Kyle Korver. So you got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, David Lee is an amazing big man.
He hasn't played that much this year.
I know.
Right?
Harrison Barnes is good too.
Draymond.
And then you got Andre Iguodala coming off the
That's
bench.
why you pick Steph Curry.
And then when you look at that Houston team, they got good players, they got talented players, but it's not the same. So I'm
we'll
going
to
have to go with James Harden on this one also, just knowing that Dwight Howard was out for what more than half the season?
Very long. I don't know if it was half, but it was long.
Like 75 to 80% of the season.
Yeah, something like that.
When we get to Houston, I'm going to disagree with what you're saying about Houston, but let's get into the playoffs.
I didn't say they're a bad team.
I
said they're not as loaded as what the Warriors are.
Let's get into it.
It's really right there. It's that close.
Let's get into the nit and gritty. Let's do this.
All right, so I'll make the decision. We will start with the East. Atlanta, Brooklyn, the 1 seed versus the 8 seed. That's my prediction.
All right. So do I get to go first, or
we'll get Freddie's opinion on this one first.
Freddie.
Do I just simply tell you who wins and how much?
You got, how much, and why you got them winning like that?
I got Atlanta in 5.
Okay.
I think Brooklyn. What?
No, I thought you said like 5 wins. I was like, what?
No, in 5 games.
Yeah, I got you.
Atlanta should win this one pretty handily. The Nets just got in on the last game. They are the 8th seed, but I think one game at home, the Nets will get with the crowd and they'll steal one game. I don't see a full-on sweep. I have to see, even though Atlanta is the number 1 seed and they're the best in the East, record-wise, I think they'll at least go 5 games.
I'm actually with him. Actually. New word. Actually, I'm with you. I think Atlanta at 5. I think Brooklyn gets probably like game 4, something like that. Brooklyn's just been so up and down this season. They're just wildly inconsistent. Some games will show up. They have the capability to beat Atlanta on any game, but I wouldn't say capability to beat them 4 out of 7. Atlanta's good. They've been struggling as of late, but I think it's the playoffs. Everyone's going to get their mind back into focus. And I would not be surprised to see one of the first 2 games Atlanta blow the doors off Brooklyn. So Atlanta in 5.
Well, I got Atlanta winning this one too, but things that I don't see Brooklyn winning the game. You guys say home court advantage for Brooklyn. The fans will get into it. Brooklyn fans are not a Golden
That
State.
is true.
They're not an Oklahoma
They are.
City
I
fan.
know.
They're not fickle. They're quiet.
They're almost like a kind of say like a Heat fan base, where they'll get into it, but they're not.
We're louder than Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not saying that Heat fans
Come on,
don't
man.
get loud, but compared to those West teams,
No. I know they don't
compared
compare.
to New York when they were good, compared to Boston when they were good, those are the fans that get into your head.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I know, but this is a playoff game.
Okay.
When we've seen Brooklyn,
And then
they
on
weren't
top of that,
playoffs.
every single game that they played this year, Atlanta has beat them by, besides one game, they beat them by at least 10 points.
No, I know. That's why Atlanta is going to win this series.
The third
easily.
game of the season, they blew the doors off of them.
I know Atlanta did that to a lot of teams
99
this year.
131.
They did that to a lot of teams this year, especially in the East.
So
I just think Brooklyn will
East
steal
8
one
seeds don't make any noise anyway. We're all
No.
So-
I'm just giving them a game because I think it won't be a
I
full-on
respect
sweep.
Darren Williams and players like that, so that's why.
So I'm going to go with how they
And Joe
ended
Jones.
the regular season. I'm going to say Hawks in 4.
So 4-5.
So, yeah, we'll go 4-5. Toronto, Washington.
Mm.
Want me to go?
Ryan,
Go ahead,
Okay.
go.
So this series to me is almost to a toss-up, and not quite. I do like the fact Toronto's getting Kyle Lowry back. I think it's going to be huge because they did struggle a bit without him. Washington to me scares me because I feel like they have the capability to come out of the East, and I feel like they have the capability to get beaten like 5. Their roster from top to bottom is actually very good. They're very good roster, but something's kind of iffy if you're only like 11 or 12 games. I forget what they're over 500 in the East. And I know Toronto's not too far ahead of them, but with Washington's roster, I mean, considering they had playoff success last year, I'd expect a little better from them. So I'm going to take Toronto in 6 because seeing Washington late in the season lose some road games where they were still trying. They did beat the Hawks late in the season, but Toronto at home in the playoffs, if they can hold serve at home, I don't see Washington winning the series. So I got Toronto in 6.
I have Toronto winning as well, but these teams are so similar. They're very, very close. I have Toronto winning, but in 7 games. Not 6. I have it going a full-on 7.
Does Washington win a road game?
This is going to be that series of whoever's at home wins. It's going to
Okay.
be just back and forth until Toronto's last game they win to get, to move on.
Kyle Lowry's the difference maker in that series.
I was going to say the exact same thing as Freddie. I think it's go 7. Nobody loses at home.
Whoever their home wins.
Whoever's at home
Washington
is
wasn't good at home last year in the playoffs.
But
With a
playoffs-
similar roster, they're just replacing Paul Pierce with Trevor Ariza.
I know, but
But
this is
I don't
how
know.
the series...
For Trevor
John
That's
Wall,
how
in my opinion, John Wall was not the player he is this year that he was last year.
Nope.
John Wall,
I disagree.
Nope.
I think he was better this year.
that's what I'm saying. He's not the player he was this year that he was last year. He's much better this season.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was
And
clear
they made
at
a
first.
little bit of noise last year.
And just being that this is such a tight
They should have
matchup,
just been better this year.
I mean, Raptors did sweep them 3-0, but I'm gonna have Toronto winning this because nobody wins it. Nobody wins on the road this series at all.
I agree.
So the next one would be Chicago, Milwaukee.
I disagree because Toronto's going to have to win the road games. But I'm not going to speak much about this. I can't stand the Bucks.
I can't stand him either.
Because of Chris.
It
Because of
despises
Chris Middleton.
the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks are in the
6th
playoffs.
seed as 500 is.
Yeah.
But
And we
I'm
couldn't
gonna
beat
go
them not one
because
time.
just because they pissed me off so much this year, they have some pieces on that team. They got Antetokounmpo, MCW's a good player. I feel like Milwaukee has just enough to squeak out one game against a Bulls team with offensive deficiencies at some points.
The Bulls
'Cause
have
Derrick Rose-
not been that great.
I know,
this
but
year.
Derrick
That's
Rose
why.
can't play. If Derrick
Honestly,
Rose could
they
play
haven't.
35 to 40 minutes
Yeah, but
throughout the entire playoffs, I'd pick
Yeah,
them
but
in a
everybody
sweep.
says that. Everybody's like, "Oh, the Bulls, oh the
No,
Bulls." oh, the
I mean,
Bulls.
as the
He
playoffs go
never
on, he's going to
plays.
progressively play more. But in this instance, I'm picking Chicago
Every
at
year they
5 because I think Milwaukee has just enough.
Every
to
year
win.
they try to favor the Bulls. Oh, the Bulls this.
They'll
the
be
Bulls that.
competitive,
If
though.
Derrick Rose is healthy, and this guy's healthy, and this guy's healthy. They're never healthy, especially Derrick
But
Rose.
their bench is a lot better. That's the difference. What do you have?
Of course, I have Chicago winning
In
the
4?
series because it's the fucking Bucks. But it's I think Milwaukee can squeeze out a game, just like you said.
So
I don't see the Bulls because they're not that dominant.
Now here's my
sweep
question.
them.
Which game do you have them squeaking out?
Milwaukee?
I think we're both...
Their last home game.
On a Sunday afternoon, right?
Their last home game where the Bulls are like, fuck it.
We're up 3-0.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just
we'll
play another game.
Ooh. So I have Chicago winning this series too, but here's the thing. I was kind of hesitant to pick Chicago just because, like you said, they're not that great. They're good, but they're not...
I mean, they're the 3 seed, but the East hasn't been strong at all.
The
but
East has never been strong in the past who knows how long. Okay,
yeah,
it was top heavy.
We made it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Top heavy.
We made it.
I mean, you compare it to the West.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
Dallas destroys Chicago, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's not even close.
Dallas is 17th. I wanted to pick Milwaukee to win the series.
Why?
This is our first.
Because he doesn't like the Bulls.
I don't like either team, so it doesn't really matter.
I hate the Bulls just as much as you do, but the Bucks.
Just because
the fact that they're in the playoffs makes me want to puke. But
I think that
they're there.
Milwaukee squeezes out one game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they can get 2 out of them.
I wouldn't be surprised either because
I wouldn't either.
These games are going to be like closer because they're both defensive-minded teams. So Chicago will be happy winning 72-71.
They're going to be so low scoring, and people are just going to like get this.
But yeah, I take Chicago 4-1, but I can see that going 6 easily. And then the last one. Former Heat player LeBron James will be taking on Boston. So, Freddie, we'll go Freddie first. Okay. Let's hear Freddie.
You can make it short and sweet if you want.
Cleveland sweep.
Thank you. Ryan?
Cleveland sweep. The Celtics. I say I would have picked Celtics in one game because the TD Garden is an amazing playoff atmosphere.
I don't care.
But the Celtics... Their starting lineup is so small, it's almost astonishing. I do think Isaiah Thomas helps that team a lot, but Cleveland is just so damn deep.
When they pull up highlight clips of Celtics, all you see is Isaiah Thomas doing everything.
Oh yeah,
you don't see anything else.
They're just
when they show the Celtics,
the Celtics aren't
Thomas.
deep enough. They're not tall enough, and Cleveland's going to steamroll them. But as I was saying, I saw an article in Bleacher Report that said. C's are a huge underdog, but ready for Cavs. When you say that, you're like, no.
No.
LeBron has not lost a first-round playoff series in
ever.
No, yes, he has. I mean, excuse me, not
first round. I saw it today.
Game, I meant
he's
game.
9-0 in first-round series.
What I was going to say,
he doesn't lose.
What I meant to say, he has not lost a first-round game in the last 2 seasons.
Oh, game.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I got Cleveland sweep.
Yeah. All right. I got Cleveland sweeping. And on your comment about Isaiah Thomas for the Celtics, you can attest to that. Just if you haven't seen it, look up Isaiah Thomas shakes all Cleveland. He got through. It was 4 of them. I don't know where the other guy was.
It was disgusting.
He gets it at the top of the 3, like almost towards that left corner, I think. Pump fakes, drives. There's a little shimmy, little fake behind the back, and then somehow reaches around to get to the guy, gets the ball to the guy in the corner. I don't know how. But anyways, I'm about to go a little bit Stephen A. Smith. Okay. LeBron James does not lose to the Celtics. He hates the Celtics. Do you know why? Because remember that team, what was it, the first year this year? And they almost took us out? Was it Game 7?
Second year.
Was it the second year?
Second
Remember the face he put on? He does not like the Celtics. He hates the Celtics. They're not Cleveland.
That was LeBron.
There's no chance that Cleveland loses the game.
Cannot dance with the old date.
There's no chance.
All right, let's just move on. No one wants to break that series.
So, yeah, but that was when the triplets were there.
Okay, he still hates. He hates the man.
When the praying mantis.
If you know LeBron personally, if you ask him, do you like Boston fans? He'll say no.
Are we going through the rest of the East, or are we gonna?
No, we're gonna do by first round.
Okay.
Actually, we can go all the way up. So let's do that second round for the East.
Okay.
So second round of the East, that means we all got Atlanta and Toronto coming out, so you can go first.
I have Atlanta beating Toronto in 6.
Oh, I didn't even write mine down. That's great.
I'm going to go, I have Atlanta in 6. I think every game will be an excellent game. 2 very good offensive teams. I love the way Atlanta plays basketball, though. I think they play playoff basketball offense. when you pass the ball like that, that wins you playoff games. And Atlanta's deeper than Toronto, which is a big difference in the playoffs always. Unless you have superstar heavy roster, then you don't need to be deep. But Atlanta doesn't have a superstar heavy roster, so I go Atlanta in 6.
You already gave yours?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the same thing. I think it's just a tight matchup.
I would not be surprised to see Toronto win, though. The whole series.
Nah.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
They'll win 2 games, and they'll be nice competitive games. I just think Atlanta will win 2 more games than them.
I think it would just be a failure for the Atlanta not to at least make it to the Eastern Conference.
It would.
So I don't think they're gonna have that motivation just to at least get there. Like they're not gonna give up till they at least get there because they have a crazy season, and I don't see them going down in the second round. So that second game would be Chicago and Cleveland.
I got Cleveland 6.
We're agreeing a lot here. I got Cleveland in 6 because 1, they're deeper than Chicago. 2, they're healthier in Chicago. 3, they've got that guy. That guy on the wall. You guys can't see it. It's LeBron.
Oh, James Jones.
But yeah, they do have James.
You should see what's over here. It's
But-
killing us.
Yes, LeBron James. Because everyone wants to pick Chicago. Like, I'll bet you most of the analysts will be like,
They
"Oh,
want to pick
Chicago's healthy. They got Derrick Rose back, and they."
Thibodeau's got the defensive team to
If you
stop
just be
LeBron.
real and you have no bias, there's no way Cleveland should lose to any team in the East. There's just no way. They're
were
deeper. They have better shooters. They have the best player on the court at all times.
They were picking Chicago in the beginning of the
Cleveland
year.
in 6. Chicago will be a tough out, though. I would say every game in that series comes down to the final few minutes.
Not every game.
I'm gonna go Cleveland too, but I'm gonna go with them in 5.
Wow.
Ooh.
I think that
That'd be kind of nice.
I think just the matchups aren't there for Chicago. I mean, they have some of them, but I mean,
Maybe they're big guys about it versus Cleveland's big
they
guys.
have they have
Joe
Joakim Vagina, so and they
That's a
got
good
Taj
one.
Gibson. I hate him.
Joaquin Noah.
Hassan Whiteside put Taj Gibson in his place.
Okay.
Let's just quickly acknowledge we are Heat fans. That was the best thing ever to see Taj Gibson happen to that.
Well, don't
But
forget,
we're not biased.
he didn't only block Taj
This is
Gibson.
pissing us off, people.
He didn't only block Taj Gibson.
Yes, he blocked it.
He blocked about.
Pau
20
Gasol
guys.
might kind of wreck the
Didn't he
Cavs
have, like-
roster,
didn't
but
he have,
as soon as they say like, "Hey, LeBron, you want to be on Pau?" Pau's not going to score the rest of that series.
Yeah.
Maybe a few points.
But yeah, I got Chicago and Cleveland in 5.
Olamo will never score. Again.
So then that would put us at the Eastern Conference Finals, and that would have us Atlanta and Cleveland. We'll go with Ryan on this one.
I think this is going to be. I don't care what anyone else says. This is going to be an epic series. This could be. I'm not even kidding. This, besides maybe who I have in the finals, this might be the best series of the playoffs.
I agree.
I think it's gonna. It's just Atlanta. I mean, they had. I know usually teams that have regular season success against LeBron don't pan out in the playoffs. But Atlanta's just the way they're coached will carry them throughout the playoffs. I know losing Thabo Sefolosha might hurt, but this is going to be an awesome series to watch. I'm going to say Cavs in 7.
What happened to him? Okay,
But-
Seth, ready?
I think Atlanta's offense can keep them in this entire series. That Game 7 would be nerve-wracking for Cavs fans, though.
I got Cavs in 6. I don't have it going 7 games. Rarely
Atlanta's been too good in it.
Rarely
in Atlanta.
rarely in the playoffs do games go 7. There's only a few series, maybe one that will go 7 games. This one will go 6 games, and by that time, LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love, he's still on the team, that they will be on such a roll that they're, as much as Atlanta has done so far, when it comes to the East Finals, LeBron's going to want to get back to the finals. And with the help of Kyrie and Kevin Love, they'll be on such a roll from the first 2 series that they'll win in 6. Atlanta will get 2 games. It won't go 7. But
Cleveland needs to watch Korver because Korver can turn around that series. If he's hitting his threes at like a Danny Green pace in the finals, Atlanta could be
I know, but
scary.
Cleveland has just the same, not
But they don't
Korver
have
strength.
Korver.
They don't have Korver, but they have shooters who could score at will.
This might surprise you guys, but
You got Atlanta, don't you?
no, I don't have Atlanta. I got Atlanta only winning 1.
Oh.
Okay.
So
And
you're
no
not-
disrespect.
That
no,
wouldn't shock me
No
either.
disrespect towards the Hawks. They're a great
I wouldn't say
team.
disrespect you have in the East Finals.
they're a great team, but I honestly do not think they're as good as their record shows. I believe that the Cavaliers are better than them.
I could see that.
They are better
only
than
because they were in the East.
The Cavs are better than
The Cavs
them.
are better than them.
The Cavs,
Okay.
they just did the same thing that the Heat did the first year. They had to get on a roll. They had to figure out how to play.
Well, they changed the roster around, unlike the Heat in the first season. The Heat only traded
That's because they made multiple
The
trades.
Heat traded for Mike Bibby. They traded for everyone that's a
with
rotation player.
Mozgov, Shumpert, J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith's the big
J.R.
guy.
Smith is probably their best signing that they got because he's their spot up shooter and he's been killing it this year.
And I just feel like Atlanta's gonna go in with too much confidence, thinking that they got that #1 seed, they got home court advantage over Cleveland. But yeah, honestly, they got LeBron, they got Kyrie, they got Kevin Love, and then that bench is disgusting.
It's LeBron, we know.
That bench is
too
nasty.
much.
I can't see Atlanta going in with overconfidence, considering their coach is from the Spurs system. He just won't allow that to happen. Budenholzer knows the system. He's not going to allow them to come in with their heads high. They're going to be considered an underdog, and that's why it's going 7.
They are going to be an underdog.
Cleveland's going to be the ones with it.
So let's switch over to that west side. Ooh, west side.
East side.
All right. So same order. We'll do the 1 versus the
Reverse.
8. So that first one is Golden State in New Orleans. Ryan.
I can't really tell you much from this series. Golden State's just really good. Pelicans are a good story.
Really
They
good.
have Anthony Davis.
Really
so
good.
I say Golden State 4, Anthony Davis 1. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Really good. They're 10 games above the second seed in the West with the best record in the NBA. They're the best team in the league. And this series will go 5 games. I think Anthony Davis by himself will get 1 game.
Yeah, Anthony Davis 1.
Anthony Davis
Golden State
1,
4.
Golden State 4. Yes.
I'm not hopping on the Golden State bandwagon here, but I got them sweeping New Orleans. If I'm not mistaken, Norris Cole is starting, right?
No, I
No.
think Drew Holiday came back.
He came
Yeah,
back?
Drew
Okay.
Holiday
He's playing
came back.
quite well.
Well, regardless.
New Orleans is a good roster, but they're running into an absolute steamrolling buzzsaw.
They made the playoffs because Anthony Davis hit a game-winning 3 who knows how long ago, okay? That's the reason they're in the playoffs right now.
And not the Thunder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that series would have been...
So
No, not without Durant.
Oh, okay,
I
you're
got
right, you're
Golden
right,
State
you're right.
just first round.
I'd have had
I
Golden
got
State
them.
in 5.
I got them sweeping New Orleans. So we'll go 4 versus the 5. Portland and Memphis.
I love the way Memphis plays basketball. I really do. It's like an upgraded version of the Pacers. It's like a better version of the Pacers.
Yeah, they don't
really
have a
do-
trash big man like Roy Hibbert.
You really do like the Grizzlies.
Well, because I like Zach Randolph because he's like more of a 90s style like NBA player. Like, I'm going to put my elbow into you and I'm going to see how physical you are. And he just beats the living shit out of people down low. And he can shoot too. But my problem with Memphis I'm scared about is that they don't hit enough threes to really be a super title contender. But I think they're definitely a threat regardless. I'm going to take Memphis in 6 because Portland is banged up.
You made it sound like Portland was going to win.
No, I mean,
You're
Memphis doesn't hit enough outside shots, but they're going to pound Portland because Portland's big guys are Myers Leonard, Lopez, Aldridge might get the best of Randolph, but Memphis has
Fucking
Gasol.
Aldridge.
Gasol's better than all those big guys.
Not just Damian Lillard because he's nasty, but Aldridge, it doesn't matter what you do, every time I see him shoot, I think he's going to make the shot. Almost every time. It's insane.
Portland's very good, but they're really, really banged up with no... I don't know if Aflalo is coming back, but even if he is, he's not going to be Wes Matthews, so I'm going to take Memphis.
That hurts him. Without having Wesley Matthews, that
I'm
hurts
going
him.
to take Memphis in 7 because I respect Portland a lot. But
I have-
Memphis' style is meant for playoff basketball.
I have Memphis in 6.
I have Memphis in 7 as well. I just think that, like you said, the way they play playoffs, it's a different how they play regular season.
There's a Gasol and Randolph step up in the playoffs.
Their biggest challenge is going to be Aldridge, for sure. So
Yeah,
we'll see how that comes out.
He'd be my biggest worry if I was
So
Memphis.
the 3 seed and the 6 seed, Clippers, San Antonio.
I don't want to pick this. I just don't. I feel like the Clippers are a team that's destined to at least go to the second round because of how good they are and how much everyone...
Destined?
Just listen.
They're always
hear
destined
me
to
out.
lose.
I feel like they're destined to go to the second round because they have so much talent, and then they run into the 6th-seeded, red-hot San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs, these teams are dead even. These teams, had their luck been a little better with like injuries and getting together, could be 1 and 2.
Towards the end of the season, these two are the hottest teams in the NBA, the Clippers and the Spurs.
I think that the difference in this series is going to be whether or not the Clippers can hit free throws. And I think Doc Rivers is going to have to pull DeAndre Jordan out of the game.
Hack a Jordan.
But Chris Paul's on a mission this year. And Tony Parker's been very good as of late, but it hasn't been great the whole season. And Chris Paul's on another level.
He's been pretty.
Chris Paul is the only reason I picked the Clippers, and I would pick the Clippers in 8 if I could, if that was possible. That's how close the series is going to be. That doesn't even make sense. Clippers in 7.
You have the Clippers
in 7.
You got some massive cojones.
Yeah.
What, are you picking Spurs in like 3?
No. And I hate
Spurs in 4.
Listen, I hate the fucking Spurs. It makes me want to throw up that I want to pick the Spurs. But I have no choice but to take the Spurs.
Go, Spurs.
Go, Spurs, go. Michelle Beadle will have a phenomenal time. So I'm going to give the Spurs winning in 6. I have to go in 6 games. Spurs winning in 6.
I got Spurs winning in 6 as well. But if LA, by any chance, happens to get more wins than that, they happen to pull that to 7, I think that just all depends if they can stop Kawhi. Kawhi and Tony Parker. Because those two can tear up any team, in my opinion. Tim Duncan, I think Whiteside can cover Tim Duncan now. If we had
Whiteside's not in the playoffs.
I know, but if we had Whiteside last year, he would have shut down Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan's too fundamental. He's just too good.
But just that reach from
Plus,
Whiteside.
he can get a foul call whenever he wants. Just puts his arm right underneath the other arm, flick the ball.
I got San Antonio in 6. I think LA wins that first one at home. And then
if it goes 7, I don't think it matters.
I got LA taking that first one at home, San Antonio taking the next 3. LA comes back, they win 1. And then
exactly how
this is going 7. When I say I don't think it matters, I think the Spurs could win a game 7 on the road, but I don't think they're going to.
They're not going to need it.
Yeah,
because they're going to win.
They're going to win in 6.
Ooh, that next one, Houston, Dallas. James Money Harden.
I don't buy into Dallas.
I wanted to pick Dallas. I really did.
I just can't. That Rondo trade just screwed up everything. You see reports coming out. Monte Ellis doesn't necessarily like teammates. I think they're good. I think they're actually a very good team. But I think they're just stuck in such a bad situation running into Houston, getting Dwight Howard back already with James Harden, my MVP choice. I cannot see Houston losing this series. I can't. I'm going to say Houston in 6 because Houston has now I was saying you don't think they're that stacked. I think their bench is severely underrated with Brewer, Josh Smith. I don't know if Montezumas is coming back. I don't think he is. But Brewer, Josh Smith, all those guys coming off the Rockets bench. Actually good bench.
I was comparing them to the Warriors, right?
Yeah, but you were saying they weren't stacked.
I didn't say they weren't good. I just don't think they're as good as that Golden State bench. Everybody on Golden State can play.
No one's as good as Golden State's bench. But this is a good team.
Everybody on Golden State can play.
I have Houston winning the series as well. I really wanted to pick Dallas. I really did.
So I'm guessing
I got Houston at 6 as well. I think Harden goes off in this race.
I don't know if this is gonna go 6 or 7. I originally thought it's 7, but now after thinking about it, I might have to change it to 6 games. Have it only going 6 games.
Dallas is going to play well, though.
You saw what they did last year with the Spurs.
I think they're worse, though.
No, they are worse. They're worse than last year's team, but the Mavericks are the Spurs' kryptonite.
I don't think the Dallas bench is strong enough either.
No, which is why I think I'm changing it to 6.
So I think we all agreed on Houston here in about 6 or 7 because you were in the middle.
I was in the middle, but I think 6.
Yeah, I think Harden he's too good. He's going to go off against Dallas. All right, round 2. So we would all have Golden State and Memphis, right? You didn't choose Portland, did you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so Golden State versus Memphis.
This is where what I said earlier comes back. Memphis, Golden State just chucks threes like no one's business. And Memphis is going to have to shoot him at some point. They can only pound him for so long, but if Golden State hits like maybe 5 threes, they're guaranteed going to have a 15-point advantage from 3. Because Memphis, they barely even shoot them. I love Memphis. I feel like they are a title contender, but I can't. Plus, Memphis,
they don't have enough.
Memphis's bench is not that impressive either. Golden State just comes at you in waves with 3-point shooting and just good play from every position. Besides maybe center, but they play hard at center. So Golden State in 6.
That's how I have it too. Same thing.
I have Golden State in 6. I just think that they have both teams have 2 different styles of play. Memphis is more leaning on the big men, and then
Pacers.
Golden State is just
it's basically the 2
you got the Splash Brothers.
It's the 2-pointers versus the 3-pointers.
But here's the thing:
in
my opinion, the 2 difference makers is that the fact that Golden State can knock down anything they want, and then on top of that, they have the big man to play a big man game.
Not as well as Memphis.
Not as well as Memphis, but they can keep
us. Like I said,
Bogut can give Gasol fits, but Gasol's
that's what I'm saying.
by far and away better than Bogut.
That's what
like
I'm
I
saying.
said, Memphis can take advantage all they want
of
the big man.
Now, my
but
concern,
those are 2s.
The only way
Warriors get 3s.
The only way Memphis wins this series is that Zach Randolph is gonna basically have to just take Draymond Green out of this game.
But then
it just goes to Curry.
What he's gonna have to
play
do?
Thompson, and they could just
literally
make
every
3
play
after
on
3
offense.
after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3.
And then
No,
Andre Iguodala comes in the game and
here's the thing.
Puts his nuts in some
Green
guys'
plays
that
power.
amazes me too.
Green plays.
That Andre Iguodala comes
He's
off
so
the bench.
Green plays
He's
power
a starter.
forward. Zach Randolph is a power forward that is a bowling ball. If he gets Green in foul trouble, it's a whole different series. But I don't think.
I know. I just think the Warriors have too much.
No,
I agree. But I think
they take him out.
Here's
Clay
what has
Thompson.
if Memphis is going to win, Zach Randolph, and I'm not kidding, is going to have to average 30 and 10.
Which that won't happen.
It won't happen. But if it does,
it would be because of that. Yes.
And I just think offensively, Golden State can completely eliminate Memphis's big men.
And Golden State is good defense too.
Yeah, because it's going to force the big men to try to come out, to get a hand in their face, to try to get them to miss.
Well,
Memphis
is like you say, Golden State's stack. Memphis's bench is like, ugh. It's Nick Kalafis, Vince Carter.
They rely on
I don't even
starters.
know who their 3 are. I think Tony Allen. I don't know if he starts still. But then you got Kufis. And their power forward.
I just think
they rely on Randolph and Gasol to score all their points.
I think Golden State's big men will do enough to stop.
Memphis is going to have to go small, probably.
Yeah.
Memphis might have to play Zebo at the 5 sometimes, which I don't think he can. But that's how small you have to play to beat.
It's just Golden State plays too fast, and
they're just shooters.
They shoot.
It's 2s versus 3s. Don't add up.
So, and then that second game of the second round for the West would be San Antonio, Houston.
I have LA,
Houston. Tough one.
I'm the only one that has LA, Houston.
Okay. Right? So me and Freddie would have San Antonio, Houston, and Ryan has Clippers, Houston. So Ryan, we'll go with you first because you're singled out.
Like I said, LA was destined to at least go second round, but I'm really high on Houston. I think they're with Dwight Howard. When I watched that Cleveland game, and when I saw them win that game, I thought to myself, I'm like, this team can win a title. I'm not saying they're going to, but they can. When I see the Clippers, I think this team could have won a title, but not in this West. I just can't see it.
They're destined for second round and out. But I have them going on the first round because I'm playing the Spurs.
I think the Clippers bench worries me a lot compared to the Rockets bench, which is consistently proven more. And I think Dwight Howard versus DeAndre Jordan would be an awesome matchup. And if they both do a hack or whatever, that would be an awful brand of basketball. But
that's just going to make the 2.5 hour, 3 hour game go to 4.
It's going to be like J.J. Redick making a 3, then coming back down the court and Harden pulling up in Redick's face. I'm going to say...
but that's more entertaining. That's 3s going back and forth than watch centers miss free throw after free throw after free throw after free throw at the free throw line.
I'm going to go Houston in 7 solely because of home court. I think both teams might win a road game, but that game 7 at home in Houston will be huge.
Well, since you're the only one that picked the Clippers, I'm going to go back to the Spurs in Houston. And if it's the Spurs in Houston, like I think it should be, this one will be over pretty quick. Spurs in 5.
Wow! You don't like Houston at all.
No.
Why?
Because, yes, Dwight's coming back, but he's just being thrown in there, and
Thiago Splitter scares you?
I don't think he's playing.
Man, it's true.
He'll try to come back, but regardless, it's just too much Spurs, and Houston just seems to have a problem with the Spurs.
Go Spurs, go.
Dude, I don't want to pick the Spurs, but I'm going to because they're
set
better.
for a
I'm gonna go
grand finale.
I'm gonna go Spurs here too, but I'm gonna take them in 7.
Thank you.
I think this is just too tight of a series. But just that Spurs experience, and like you said, Dwight Howard just coming back. I mean, he came back.
Come on, he's not just gonna jump right in there and average 20.
They're the 2 seed basically without him.
Okay, I know that.
Yeah, but that's like the same thing like with.
Okay.
But like just,
okay.
I mean,
okay.
San Antonio. They got Danny Green, they got Kawhi Leonard, they got Monty Ginobili, they got Tony Parker, they got Tim Duncan. It's just
we've seen already.
We've seen
Houston versus Spurs. We see it every single time. The Spurs just know how to whip the shit out of the Rockets.
It's the experience that they have.
We'll see.
It will
just
happen.
out of pure respect and knowing what San Antonio is capable of, I'm taking them in 7.
Damn, I have it in an ass kicking. You have it in like going back and
because
forth.
Houston is good.
Houston is good.
I know they're good, but the Spurs
and
just know how to whip their
regular
ass.
season success means nothing in the postseason. It doesn't.
Yeah. Exactly. Houston's a better seed than
the
them.
Spurs. Do
you
know what they do in the postseason?
He was just talking about what the Spurs do to Houston when they play them. I'm like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Do you see what the Spurs do when they come to the playoffs? I mean, I just last year
lose to the 8 seeded Grizzlies when they're the 1 seed.
I'm talking recent, bro. I'm talking recently. Every time I think the Spurs and whatever team they're playing is going to go back and forth, it's going to be a great series, the Spurs win in 4 or 5 games every single time. They just embarrass whoever they play. Yes, with the hand. The Spurs will end up winning in 5 games and take out Houston.
I think Dwight Howard has a good series, but he's just not. He's not going to be, in my opinion, he's not going to be 100%.
Dwight Howard on
he
the
won't
post
be 100%. He won't be 100%.
So let's go to that Western Conference Finals.
Oh.
So besides you, me and Freddie got Golden State versus San Antonio, I believe. And you got Golden State versus
Houston. 1-2.
What?
I got the 1-2 matchup.
Oh, okay. So what do you got?
This is Indiana, Miami.
Now this is going to be great. Two ridiculous, quite frankly, ridiculous offenses. If you don't have stamina, then you cannot play in this game. They're going to be running back and forth. These games might end in like an hour, 30 minutes. How fast both of these teams play. Well, actually, maybe like 2.5 because Golden State is trying to come back.
The games are usually 2.5 hours.
No, but this is just going to go up and down and up and down. They're just going to run.
If it's that series,
I bet this is going to be the series that when someone makes a shot, the other guard's going to be at half court and they're going to outlet it, and it's going to be 1-on-5. And it's a pull up from 3.
So you're talking about the average like 100, 105 or 105, 110.
This series average like score might be like 115 to 107 or something like that.
I don't know about 115,
but
let's 109, 103,
here
104.
I think Houston might get in a little trouble when the bench comes in because their bench is just not as good, but I can't pick against Golden State. So
sorry guys, technical difficulties.
Houston, their bench is not going to be able to keep up with Golden State's, so I take Golden State in 7 because Houston has 1 guard, but Warriors have 2. They have 2.
So now that your prediction is over, let's go to
what it's going to be.
Yeah, Golden State and San Antonio, like everyone thinks it should be, just like I think it should be. This series is going to be epic.
Oh, yes.
Pass 3. Pass 3.
The Spurs and their almighty passing, and the Warriors with not missing a shot. It's going to go 7 games, and it's going to be the Warriors beating the Spurs.
I got exactly what Freddie's got. Epic game, epic series. Nobody's gonna blow out anybody in the series. Nobody's gonna win out.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a blowout game.
No. That's not gonna happen. These teams are too good.
Golden State could easily blow out San Antonio, and San Antonio could easily blow out Golden State.
Yeah. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
Not over a series.
That happens in the regular season. You'll see the Warriors
in my pick, I wouldn't be surprised to see
that
Houston.
happened in the regular season.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Houston win a desperate game 6, like 120 to 99.
What you literally just said happened in the regular season. When the Warriors played the Spurs in Golden State, the Warriors blew them out. When the Warriors went to San Antonio blew them out.
Like I said,
they're capable of doing that. But when it's playoff time and it's the finals, West Finals.
Usually there's 1 or 2 games in a series, if one that goes 7, where one team wins by a comfortable margin.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
So
I won't be surprised.
Like I was saying, this is gonna be a close. I mean, it's gonna be a close series. It's gonna go 7, in my opinion. And here's what it's gonna come down to: Golden State's got the guard advantages by far. Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker, they're good, but they're not as quick and they're not as good as shooters.
And Younger.
You just said Golden State as the advantage. You just went Manu Ginobili.
I'm talking about the Spurs, though.
But why would you say the Golden State?
Golden State has
Curry is better than Parker, and Klay Thompson is better than Monty.
Don't say that in the name.
Okay.
The other
Younger, faster, better.
They're big men, much like the Memphis.
I'm stronger.
Much like the Memphis situation, I think
Batman.
that Warriors can play with San Antonio's big men. And then I'm a huge believer in Andre Iguodala, and I think he can come off the bench and shut down Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, Iguodala is a very good wing defender. He really is.
And I think that
he's going to have to outshoot him from 3, though.
That's true.
Because Kawhi's going to make Iguodala makes his impact making 3s.
Kawhi's going to be a problem.
That
was a well-timed quote.
I think Andre Iguodala is going to be a huge difference in this series because of Kawhi Leonard.
Because he's faster. He's stronger. Okay,
so then, that would put us all with the exact
matchup. Yeah, we all.
Yeah, that would put us all
State,
the
Cleveland.
exact championship finals series.
Cleveland, Golden State.
We'll start with.
This is old-fashioned. Take the technology down. This is a guessing game here.
It's just off.
This is rolling the dice.
Freddie, Cleveland Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors. Cleveland will have the home court advantage. Who do you got? And how many?
Why would they have home?
Because they have the best record in the NBA.
No, Golden State.
That's
best. You said Cleveland.
I said both teams.
Your words are fucky.
Yeah.
I said both teams.
All right,
you said
let's just go.
Cleveland.
I said Cleveland Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors. They have the best record in the NBA.
All right, can you just
I know what I heard.
Go.
I know what I heard. Warriors win the title. Beat LeBron in 6 games.
These are the most balanced teams in the NBA. Like, you cannot... Well, actually, maybe Cleveland, maybe not so much because their defense. But, I mean, like, in terms of matchup, this is a balanced matchup.
I think at full potential, these are the 2 best teams.
Oh, no, they're the best teams, but...
Cleveland in the East and Golden State in the West.
The X factor in the series is going to be Golden State's defense, and if Andre Iguodala comes off the bench and has to play LeBron...
This is going to be an epic finals.
But I think what... I want to pick the Warriors because they have everything going against them this year.
No.
Ryan.
No.
But I think... I think it'd be really hard for Cleveland to win one road game in Oakland.
Take LeBron out and release him.
If there was ever a guy...
Release him from in here.
Steph Curry can do a lot. Like, he can do basically everything. But LeBron can just do everything better. Besides shoot threes. And that's he is the reason I am picking the Cavs. Because I think the Cavs... Steph Curry is better than... Let me finish. Steph Curry is better than Kyrie Irving.
Is it the inexperience?
No, it's not. That is not even a factor in my decision. Steph Curry is better than Kyrie, but Kyrie's still very good, and he can have his moments. I'll take Klay Thompson over JR. But LeBron is just better.
Is the best player
LeBron is by far better than anyone on the Warriors roster that plays positions 3 through the 5. And that is the reason the Cavaliers will win the championship in 7 games. The Cavs will win the 7th game in Oakland.
Fuck no! If it ever goes 7, the Warriors are winning that 7th game.
If the Cavs are up, after
crowd,
6 games, they're
with the best crowd in the NBA. If it ever goes 7, no way in hell is no matter what LeBron does.
No one in the crowd guards LeBron.
I know, but you know what that does. You know what the players. You know how the players play when they're at home. They feel like they're inhuman, and they make every single thing that they shoot. And now, if it ever goes 7, Curry and Klay Thompson will have a shooting performance like no other.
If LeBron gets to a Game 7 in NBA Finals with his home city, he will feel that moment and be like, I'm going to bring a championship.
He won't be at home like he was in Miami.
But he's home in Cleveland. He's going to be on the road, but he's going to be at home. He's like, I can bring a championship back to the city that I've been trying to, and I have the roster to do this. And if they're not going to help, he could...
I don't have him doing it this year. Now.
This is the year. This is the year, because they have a walkthrough in the East pretty much. Well,
Atlanta.
Not a walk, excuse me, but not as hard as it could be because they don't have the Pacers. The Hawks will give them fits, but the Hawks are an offensive team. The Pacers were the Warriors. We're gonna play defense.
The Warriors,
we're gonna walk.
Because of the West being how good it is, the Warriors will be battle tested and they will be ready.
Cavs will be too.
For LeBron,
Chicago and Atlanta.
They're gonna wreck Chicago.
They should wreck Chicago. Honestly.
The only people that are going to give them a hard time is Atlanta.
That's it.
I still have them beating Atlanta in 4.
So you have Golden State.
Once again, you're trying to push the Chicago card. Get off the Chicago shit, man.
They're going to play them tough. That series could go 4, and it'll still be a battle test for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, but that would be embarrassing winning 4. I have it going.
You have nothing to be ashamed of if you lose every game by a couple possessions.
So you got...
I have the Warriors. I think this year's a meant for
I think this game goes 7. Okay? In this series. It's going to go 7. Like you said, Cleveland does not win on the road, but I can easily see the Warriors winning on the road. I can see them winning in Cleveland.
That's another thing, too. The fucking Cavs don't win on the road.
The Warriors...
They need their home crowd to win games.
The Warriors
will not win on the road.
Any home fan base with the way they shoot and the way they play. They can silence
Cavs can light them back up by shooting almost the same way.
They don't... No, right. Do they... They do not shoot the same.
No.
J.R. Smith can go 10 of 15 from 3.
J.R. Smith does not go 90
in 100 games.
And he will shoot
J.R. Smith does not go 94 for 100.
This
or
is
whatever
not,
the fuck
this is not the Knicks. This
is
not J.R. on the Knicks.
How many points did those count for in an NBA game? Those 100 in a row? 0.
It doesn't matter.
They may have contributed to him scoring in them,
about his practice,
but they didn't count.
His 94 3-pointers.
I thought it was 100.
When he made 77.
He won like 77 in a row, but he made 94 out of 100.
77 from 3.
NBA threes.
Yes.
Yes.
In a row.
Yeah, I know.
But anyways.
I saw it.
Warriors can win on the road. I do not see Cleveland winning in Oakland. Like you said, they have the best fans in the NBA.
So that would mean 6?
That's mostly just because...
that would mean you have Golden State in 6 then.
No. I think I think the Warriors can win on the road, but I still don't think that they will.
So 7.
I think everybody wins at home.
Okay.
It's that series.
So home court advantage.
Whoever's at home, it goes 7. Warriors at the game 7.
And I have nothing against LeBron. I'm not a LeBron hater. I still respect him.
Well,
I still like LeBron as a player.
I got Cavs.
But I got Warriors in 7.
Let it go, man. LeBron's gone.